Yo guys, I pray that you're all doing well. Today I'm back with another discussion with two European GOATs. Man, these two have accomplished so much in Tekken 7 and in Tekken 8. I mean, I don't need to introduce the first guy to my left, top left. SuperAkouma, my bro, how you doing, man?
Good. I fucked up my hand recently, so I can't play the game, but apart from that, I'm doing well.
I'm sure you'll be able to play the game again soon. Hopefully you recover.
Soon.
Hopefully.
You know how much I love it.
And up next, we have arguably the best Leo in the world, man. AyoRichie, the GOAT. How are you, my friend? Man, you inspire me so much, Richie, man. You don't understand. How are you, bro?
This guy is not serious, man. I'm doing good, man. Never listen to this guy when he gives anyone praise. But it's calm, man. I'm doing good. You know, surviving the Clive onslaught, enjoying online Tekken, as we all are. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here, man. Happy to be here.
So today we're going to be talking about some interesting topics, guys. Some very interesting topics because I feel like the guest we have on today is like, it's super opinionated. I feel like one person is on like the positive side and then the other person is on the negative side. So we're going to talk about all these topics in detail. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. So the first point we'll be talking about today is the Season 2 wish list. Now this could be any changes we want, anything we want nerfed, buffed, etc, etc. So I think I'll start off, I think the first few things I'll mention is heat burst tracking has to go. Heat smashes on whiff should not continue. Some characters have way too much tracking, some characters don't have weaknesses. Man, there's so many points I could talk about. And of course, the most important thing, in my honest opinion, is heat engages need to be less plus. These are just some of the changes that I want. What do you guys think? You guys can just talk about literally anything you want. Any one of you guys can go first.
Well, just talking about heat engages, just based off of what we've seen in that trailer coming up, we've got the characters going into heat engages. We don't know how plus they are, but they're in crouch, so obviously forcing a crouch mix. So, that's a change to heat already that we've got coming up. I would hope that they obviously make it like, I don't know, maybe like +9 or something, because at least then you can make some kind of defensive read or something to beat, someone who's taking a mic with their plus frames and stuff. Instead of just, being forced to guess, in that scenario. Fair enough, they've landed a heat engager, but like, some of them are just too ridiculous, and then some characters just have too much chip damage. So I hope that, that gets balanced in some way so that we're not just dying for blocking, It gets very tiresome. So I think I want something in that aspect to change a lot. Just chip damage, the plus frames, some of the wall stagger mechanics just being too much. So yeah, in order for us to enjoy the game, I feel like some of that stuff definitely has to change.
Something I did forget to mention as well in some of the changes that I want is I think Power Crush heat engages need to either go or be unsafe, because I feel like the risk reward is just insane, and I feel with like as time goes on, it feels like even the new characters are getting like crazy Power Crushes. Like for instance, Clive, what we're currently experiencing in ranked, and also of course Eddie's Power Crush I think is insane, which no one talks about. I think his Power Crush is so good. But yeah, SuperAkouma, what do you think, man? What do you want with Season 2 besides Akuma?
I mean, I don't even ask for Akuma. People always ask me that, but it's just I don't think he's coming back. For some reason, the people who hated him the most are the people the most.
Bro, he's coming back, bro. He's coming back. I think he is, man.
See, exactly what I'm saying. The people who hate him the most. But yeah, so I don't ask for that. But yeah, like Richie kept saying, some characters, some instances, some this, some that. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's not much that really needs to change mechanically. It's mostly a question of balance, right? I like chip damage as a mechanic, but obviously some characters do it too much, right? The Power Crush heat engagers, I think when they nerfed the highs to be like, to like kill the tracking on them, I feel like that was a really good change. But then you got like Nina, who just does a mid, right? And it still tracks even though they nerfed the tracking on it. Like that's like one that needs to change, but I don't think Power Crush heat engagers need to have a complete overhaul. I think it's just specific moves, right?
That's interesting.
Like, because you were saying about heat engages, right? We already know they're gonna change. I didn't even notice the full crouch mix up until you said it, actually, JoKa. So thanks for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing is, +9, +17. I feel like for most people, it's not gonna change that much. Like most people play this game, it's just gonna freeze up anyway. And the people who like listen, I've mashed at -17, and I've been right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't feel like that's gonna make that much of a difference. Sure, we could do a bit less, so maybe you can like low parry lows. Maybe that would make a bit of a difference, but I don't really have a problem with them. It's just again a question of certain moves being busted. Like take like I was saying, Nina's Power Crush is too much. It's Power Crush. It's not supposed to track, but it does. It's only -14, except they do it in heat, in which case it's +5. Right? It's a bullshit move. You get Brian's quarter circle forward 1+2. It's just, why is that safe now? It does more than before, and it's safer. I don't get it, right? But I don't think the system needs that much change. It's more balancing for me.
Personally, I think it's not just character balance. I agree with what Richie's saying. I think heat mechanics need to be looked at now. Of course, chip damage, it varies. Some characters can do they can do quite a lot in heat. Other characters not so much. So that again comes down to heat consumption. Like I've said this many times, you have Kuma shitting out electrics in heat. You have Nina doing madness in heat. But other characters can't do so much in heat. Now, moving on from heat is like heat engages. Sorry, we're still talking about heat. Heat engages, I think, even if they tone down the plus streams, I think it's gonna make a big difference. Because in like high level Tekken, like people will be more confident in disrespecting in certain situations and whatnot. It creates the mind game and stuff. And again, like you said, being able to low parry lows in certain situations, I think it's so important. Another thing I did forget to mention, I think stage gimmicks needs to be looked at. I think heat smashes should not trigger stage gimmicks. I think that shit is insane. And I feel like, bro, I could be like, I don't know, I'm not even at an angle, and the wall blast is there, and I'll get like fucking
just magically.
Like it always works out so that it triggers the stage gimmick. Like from mid screen on the wrong wall, you'll just slide to the stage gimmick.
But the thing is, there's times where it works in reverse. To like sometimes you expect it to trigger it and it just doesn't.
I feel like that happens less though.
Yeah, no, it does for sure. But like it's still noticeable, isn't it? Like why is it random? Like sometimes.
Yeah, like the pushback on the heat moves is just silly. Like for me, I think triggering stage gimmicks is fine as long as it's not like from mid screen and it just slides to the edge of the screen. Like if you do pause low heat smash from mid screen on the the underground stage everyone hates.
Underground arena.
From mid screen you'll get it, right? Which is bullshit, right? But I don't have a problem with them triggering stage gimmicks when there's like a stage gimmick right behind you, for example. My thing is I think none of them should wall splat. That's my thing. As a general system change, no heat smashes should wall splat. I'm okay with stage gimmicks, but why are you getting a move that's like a plus on block mid that often gives you a free mix up, but if you land it, Leo gets 110 damage.
Wait, you see,
just attacking for free.
No, but listen, I understand. Lee's doesn't wall splat. It's not launch punishable anymore, is it?
They made it 14 now.
Does it trigger the stage gimmick?
But it's really not. Leo's really not the worst. I just wanted to say that.
It's not in the stance.
Listen, he's not the worst. I just wanted to say Leo for joke.
Listen, you got Yoshi.
But you got Jin's one. Yeah, Yoshi's a great example. Like it tracks really well. It wall splats from really far away. Jin's wall splats from mid screen.
Yeah.
Like I don't like that. Right? They shouldn't give full combos. They should just be like big powerful moves. But you shouldn't get a full combo from them.
But the thing is, if they're not like,
unless there's a stage gimmick.
If they're not unique in it, like in how they function, it's not really that exciting for people, really. If everyone did the same thing, do you know what I mean?
No, but they wouldn't all do the same thing. Some of them would break the floor, some of them would break the wall.
So you just mean a whole damage reduction?
Like
in terms of like when there's a wall.
Just don't give it a wall splat. Just maybe like add like there's some of them where if you hit the wall, they do a bit more damage. They add like 5 damage.
Yeah.
You can keep that maybe, but like don't give it a full combo.
Okay, so either wall blast or floor blast.
Yeah, give it like good Oki, like they recover pretty quick after it. Like give him a good situation if you want, but not a fucking full combo. Or like Warong's, he whiffs the first hit and then you just have to stare at him as he whiffs 2 more and then you still have to block it.
Yeah.
But if you get clipped, it's a full combo, right?
I feel like talking about certain moves like that you can just whiff. I feel like Clive's forward 1+2 is one of them. And Dumbly posted like an interesting clip where the first hit of the first hit of forward 1+2 whiffed, and the second hit he tried to power crush and it just whiffed completely. Like
Just went through it.
yeah, literally just went through it.
Seen that.
Like I think some moves have too many properties. It's the same thing with like QCF4 before. I still think it's a crazy move. Moves like Clive's forward 1+2, it's too good. Like I think there needs to be weaknesses amongst characters. Like a character can't be just like completely well-rounded, you know. I think it's not fun that way, and it's just not. I don't know what the word is. I don't think it should be like a thing, you know.
Yeah, characters need to be more honed in on they're really good at this, but they're bad at that.
They need to have an identity. Yeah.
And player skill needs to, you know, you need to have the tools to beat the weakness you have, but you need to have that clear weakness. That's why, for example, I really like Heihachi's design. He does a lot of crazy stuff. He's got like warrior instinct and whatever. But I think he's pretty well balanced. You know what beats it, what beats what he does, and usually if you stick to that, it works.
Yeah.
Usually if you try to stick too much to his weakness, he'll do the specific moves he doesn't want to do, just to condition you to stop looking for that, and it's player skill, right? Whereas, like you said, too many characters, they just throw out their moves, and the moves do everything for them.
Yeah.
There's nothing to think about. It's just I have to hold it.
Literally, it's like also Nina's down forward 1 too, which is another move which is just insane, man.
I hate it. Why do I have to guess on like she does her mid check, and then you have to guess.
Yeah.
Like every move after it is basically either a big damage wall splat or a counter at launch, and most of it's safe.
Yeah. So, is there any other things you guys would like changed or maybe added, or should we just start talking about like some of the top tier characters that we currently have in the game right now?
I want to mention. So it's kind of about like the heat engaging power crushes and just power crushes in general. I feel like with the addition of Clive's power crush, I think that's an indication of what is to come for like a lot of characters. I feel like the heat engaging power crushes might go, yeah, but like there's gonna be power crushes introduced to the game that are very dumb. Like I think Clive's power crush is like that's the first one to tell you like, okay, more of this is to come. Characters are getting newer moves. I honestly, it might sound mad, but I think that's the kind of direction they might be going in. Get rid of heat engaging power crushes, but make some really obnoxious ones that kind of, you know, stand out or flashy, whatever, however you want to describe it. Yeah, but I think that's something they could do.
I think in the trailer they didn't show any power crushes, right?
What trailer?
Any.
The season 2 one, like the little snippet they showed.
Yeah.
I don't think they did, but the 2 characters we saw have new heat engages were characters with the high safe heat engages. It was Asuka and Shaheen.
Yeah.
Right? 2, which both have that.
True.
The people want it nerfed. That's where the theory of maybe they're gone comes from. It's from these 2. But yeah, you were talking about the direction of the game looking to Clive. But I think they said, though, in the Tekken talk, they've been working on Clive since before we even saw Tekken 8.
Yeah.
Right? Because for me, right, when I saw Heihachi, I thought, they're doing things well, right? For me, it was like, this is actually going in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
It's like clear weakness, his heat smash isn't busted. It does both wall and ground, but it's not like you can deal with it, just sidestep. And the mix up after it really isn't that bad, right? There's a mix up, which I don't particularly like, but it's compared to some other characters' mix ups, like he's taking somewhat of a risk. Whereas Yoshi can just go, I'll do the mid, right? I'll do the safe mid, is whatever, right?
Yoshi, man.
Yeah, like I thought when I saw Heihachi, wow, great direction, and we saw Clive, and it's like we went back 5 steps.
Yeah.
But I think they did say that Clive was actually being worked on way before. So it might not be an indication of what they're going for later, which is what I hope. But maybe I'm just, gaslighting myself to stay sane. Right? I don't know.
Yeah, it's been interesting because we got Lydia first, and then Eddie. Wait, was it Eddie first or Lydia?
Eddie, then
first,
Lydia.
Yeah, Eddie was insane. I think when I saw him, I was like, okay, I kind of understand which direction they're going in. Like 50-50s, mix-ups, amazing power crushes, crazy damage, blah blah blah. And then we got Lydia, and Lydia was like, okay, maybe they're listening. And then we got Heihachi, and I was like, okay, they might just be listening. Although there's some strong points to Heihachi, but I feel like he is pretty balanced.
Yeah, he's a strong character, but balanced. Yeah,
he has a clear weakness. And then, of course, we have Clive now, who's just shitting out forward 1+2 from the other side of Peckham.
Phoenix 1+2 Beyblade, fam.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy.
Wild.
But yeah, I can't think of anything else I want changed. I just think, obviously, chip damage, heat burst, heat engages, power crushes.
Yeah, but like for tracking on heat burst, that again, it's not every character that it's like Brian and Dragunov mostly.
Nina as well.
Nina. Of course, it's the characters who are already top tier.
Something
else. If she could take like Warong's, I'm always stepping Warong's heat burst, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, why is there some that didn't get patched, basically?
And to be fair, some of them have terrible like hitboxes as well.
Yeah.
Like Horans is a great example, just whiffs all the time and stuff. So
one thing I want to ask you guys, which is I think it's gonna be super interesting, is do you think all low heat smashes should be launched?
No. Why would Leos be launched?
Okay, forget Leos. How about like Lee's? Okay, but that's from like a stance, Like, what do you think about heat smashes in general that aren't in a stance? Like Lee's
and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't really mind if they were all -15. I had a problem with mine being -15 when it's the worst out of the low heat smashes. It's the slowest and has the least tracking. Why was it more punishable than the others? On a character that's already doing lows, so you're ducking a lot, right? Like, I didn't really get that. Now, if they were all launched, I'd be like, yeah, fair enough, right?
Yeah,
I don't think they need to be launched though. I think the mid heat smashes that are just plus a million and give you a mix-up are stronger than the low heat smashes.
Yeah,
the low heat smashes are like more free, but I feel like they are weaker.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like, but I still think they should be universally punishable because when you're at the wall and behind you is a stage gimmick and you're playing against Claudio and you just sidestep into either low heat smash or back one, it's a bit rough,
Too much. Claudio's too much.
Like, I think situations like that are just jarring as fuck, man.
I think the stance ones are fine in it, but like the ones where they're just standing and can just low heat smash.
Yeah, I think it's too much.
Nuts.
Yeah, like if they were all launched, I wouldn't really mind. I think all 14 is fine as well. Like, why is Paul's 12 with pushback? With pushback, like some jabs whiff. If you have to use a jab punish, it whiffs.
Kazuya's -14 as well, right?
Yeah. Kazuya's 14. It's just...
them standing ones are illegal, man. I think -15 makes sense, honestly.
Yeah, like I'm not opposed to that necessarily. Like, I think as my one's not very good, so I'm like 14's fair for my one. But as a rule of them all being 15, I'm not against it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next point then.
Wait. There's one last thing that I want to mention. Just for the the more casual players, I guess. But I feel like since it's a season 2 wishlist, I feel like they need to introduce some more modes, like tournament modes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And then also that they said they were going to introduce Ghost versus Ghost or something like that, which is something that could also be interesting as well. So
it's just gonna be okay. I'm tired of streaming ranked. Let's just do Ghost versus Ghost,
bro. Slap it on, bro. Put bets down.
Yeah.
But like legit, like some more single player modes and stuff like that, man. They need to definitely. They've already hinted that they want to do the Ghost stuff. So
I've always been a big fan of team battle. Like, that's originally how I started playing the game with my friends before I started really understanding what the game was like. Just pick 8 random characters or pick 8 characters you like.
Hardest difficulty.
And no, like I was doing that like 1v1 with my friends, right? But just
first.
Pick 8 characters, and then the health you took off gets carries over. Right? We now have
Yeah,
quick
yeah.
loading times as well.
Yeah.
Because you know we're in the future now, and yeah, it will load fast enough, and like you recover just a little bit of health because otherwise it's you die in one hit, right? But yeah, like that was really fun. That's how I learned to play the game originally, and I'm just kind of sad that's not in the game anymore.
I also want
But
Tekken Bowling as well. I think online Tekken Bowling would be fun.
A proper one, innit? Like the Dark Resurrection one.
Yeah.
If you lot played that one was actually quite decent. But the Tekken 7 one, just throw that in the bin, man.
Yeah. The thing about Tekken Bowling and stuff like that is, I think it's a lot of work for them for not that much return, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, is it worth them taking away resources from fixing the game to bowling mini games? Right? I don't know. But if we're talking
Tekken Ball tournaments could work. Like that could get people playing it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think just the 1v1 thing is a bit dry, innit? Like.
yeah, they can improve on what they've already put in, right?
Yeah.
But they don't need to add like a new mini game. Is what I think.
At some point, maybe.
If we're talking modes, is it time to talk about maybe changes to online for season 2?
We'll talk about that later. That's a whole
Later.
separate. Yeah, that's a whole separate.
Yeah.
that's
There's
a
a
big
lot to say.
discussion.
That's what I'm like. Is
Yeah.
it? Do we start now? All right.
So I think
we'll save that. We'll save that.
What I want to move on to before we finish off this point is, let's talk about like some characters that are overtuned that need to be toned down. I'll start off. I think Yoshimitsu, Nina. I think Clive currently is insane with 4+2 and whatnot. I still think Dragonor's really strong in terms of damage, wall carry, movement as well. Yeah. I think Law and Shaheen. I think the slide characters besides Lee, I think are too strong. I think in my opinion, like, and of course Kuma in Heat is just something else. I feel like characters just need to be toned down in season 2. That's all I want to see. I don't want to see no characters getting buffs, just nerfs. That's all I want.
You know what I want to change, yeah? And this is a bit obscure to say, in it, but like, I don't want to feel like the person I'm playing against just won because of their character, fam. I don't like feeling that. Like, I swear, bro, like, whenever I play against Lily, I have to say Lily, but whenever I play against Lily, I just feel like there's rounds where she jumps to the side and I've lost.
Yeah. It's just
Like,
it's just
so
sometimes
stressful.
Ling's in hypnotist,
Exactly.
and it's just wow, GG's.
Shaheen's guard break, like these little things here where
Yeah.
you're forced to guess in heavy minor situations are.
I mean,
they're just
that's-
mad because there's barely any counterplay.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of the game, though.
It's
I
so
don't-
difficult though, because the thing is, okay, look, Shaheen, Lily, Ling, Kuma, Yoshi as well, I guess.
You guess.
Nina. Okay, yeah, Yoshi as well.
Stop guessing.
No, but like against Yoshi,
should
I can
know.
at least... Okay, I'm lying.
You can't.
Nah, you know what? You can kind of stand there a bit against Yoshi sometimes.
That's the players' fault. That's the Yoshi players. They're too used to people who don't know. That's on them.
I just feel like those situations should be at least be a bit more risky so that they don't just go for it. You know, like, oh, you know what? I'm in heat. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
get a bit more variety in their gameplay and stuff.
Definitely more for the pure guessing. There should be more risk attached. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of situations, like you said, where you're just guessing, but if you guess right, you don't get rewarded for it. The reward is you're not dead, which I think is maybe not enough of a reward. You know.
That's what I mean, man.
Like on Lily's, like if you block the mid, right? Maybe just like a -10, right? Just something, right?
Yeah, some punish.
Like Ling's plus on the mid, right?
Yeah.
Like, I guessed right, and she's plus.
That's something I spoke about as well. Like, why is Ling's heat smash on hit?
I mean, yeah, 50-50
It
mix
makes
up
no,
after
it makes no sense. Like, why?
I mean, I guess it makes it a bit more unique, but
Oh,
it's a very
okay.
annoying
It's
situation.
ridiculous, bro. Unique.
So
is
you were talking about unique heat smashes earlier. That's why I'm bringing it up, right? Like, I'm not a fan of the situation either, but like, at least it's different. At least it doesn't give you a free wall splat from mid-screen, right? Like, you have to guess, which is annoying, but there's a lot of other heat smashes you would have just been dead, right? To be fair, I don't like it either, but there's worse things.
But yeah, same thing on block and on hit is just wild, isn't it? Because you're getting chipped down on block anyway.
Yeah.
So you may
You're
as well
losing
have got
the-
hit.
You just
You
get
may as well.
It's not much different. Yeah.
Bruv.
Yeah, I think that's all for the season 2 wish list. I'm sure there's other things we forgot to mention.
I mean, I gotta say my characters.
Oh shit, my bad. Carry on.
It's okay. It's okay. But yeah. So yeah, Dragunov. I think I don't have that much problem with Dragunov right now. Like it's just he just feels overtuned. But they've done some efforts to touch him. I feel like season 2 they're gonna touch a bit more. It's just he definitely feels like he was intended to be the best, right? But they've taken some steps to make that better. Nina for some reason is unscathed. They nerfed her damage, and apparently some of the scaling there were it accidentally buffed a different move, so they just have a different combo route that does basically the same. So yeah, Nina needs to change. Everything is a safe counter at launch. She still gets all the advantages of Tekken 7 and all the advantages of Tekken 8 at the same time, which isn't okay. Yoshi's just doing too much, right? Like, he's just way too much damage, way too much wall carry, way too much everything, right? I'm not the kind of guy to complain about Flash, right? I know I'd play against Yoshi. Flash isn't really the problem. The spin's a bit too good, but even that's not the problem. It's just... It's moves like 1-1 and the overall just damage he does, right? It's not what most people are complaining about on Yoshi. I feel like the Yoshi players who say, oh, people don't know the matchup, they're not wrong, but the character's stupid.
Yeah. I think another thing,
yeah.
sorry, just to interrupt, I've got to mention is
Go
I
ahead.
feel like in Tekken 8 there's way too many jailing strings, man. Like we do not have this many
Yes.
jailing strings in Tekken 7, which is just insane.
We got weird jailing strings as well. Like, why is Nina's sidestep 4-2 jailing if you get hit by the first
On
hit?
hit, yeah.
Alyssa's
Stuff like
just-
that is crazy.
Alyssa's down 4 as well. You have Lars as well, who has a jailing string for some reason, which is...
Which one's the last one?
I can't remember what the notation is, but it's
Like, I feel like I know the one.
Den 1-2.
Den 1-2, that's it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, why?
Why is that jailing?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Insane.
really dumb as well. I guess for characters, Shaheen, I feel like just needs some tracking nerfs mostly, right? Then the big one I really dislike is Brian.
Bro, I forgot to mention Jin, bro. Oh my god.
Oh, imagine.
Jin is
Yeah.
just like
Imagine.
insane, bro. Oh my.
Oh, we can all talk about Jin. I'll complain about Brian later. Let's go to Jin.
Let's go. What the fuck is Jin in this game, bro? No skill
Jin.
required at
Just
all.
jump in the air, dive kick.
Yeah.
Man,
Like unless
damage
you're
galore.
in rage and you can rage out the dive kick, it's just
it's
full
toxic,
screen plus
Bro,
frames.
watching
They give him like
Tekken World
Right.
Tour Finals as like a pro player, you know, I love Riot.
how
That's
many
my
Jins
guy.
were there in top 8?
There was 2 or 3? 2.
At least 3, I think.
CBM
I feel like-
5.
Mardo.
No, Model was in top 8. He got 9th. But
Oh, no. Oh,
3
Oh, it was maybe it was the top 16 then. I'm
top
thinking of.
16 is insane. But anyways, like seeing the dive kick, hard screen, you can't do anything about it. It's not Tekken. It's
Yeah,
just not
it's
Tekken.
really, really obnoxious, man. Really obnoxious. Like, not only does he have the mid dive kick, but the high chip one that makes your punish whiff if you duck it and punish too early with
Oh,
some
yeah.
characters. Like, I've seen that so many times. It's just ridiculous. How plus is it? How plus is it? 20 something.
If you hit the wall, yeah.
At the wall,
it's
yeah.
like 20, 21 maybe even.
So chip damage plus 21.
Like I know.
And he's-
Sorry, to interrupt. Again, another point I want to talk about is like down to. I know people say it's reactable, but people need to understand. Like when you're in a high pressure situation, like in tournaments, playing on PS5 as well, it's very hard to react to. You know, like you've seen some of the best players in the world eat down twos, and I think that move is insane. Like a high crush counter hit launcher that's minus 14.
Basically homing.
I think it just needs to be launch, really. Like I
Yeah.
think that's
I think the
like,
high crush as
because
well,
right now with Lee, I launch it basically, right? As long as I have heat or I'm in heat, I get a
Yeah,
launch from it.
yeah.
And I'm like, considering what it does, the damage I get from it, I think is relatively fair for how good the move is. But I know I'm the only character that gets that basically, right? Because I don't just get a launch, I get a huge launch. I think it's like 87 with no walls is what I get off of it. But I know most characters just get like 30,
The punish,
like 20, 30. Like you get like it should be launchable by everyone, I think.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
should. I think moves like that, again, we spoke earlier, like some moves have too many properties. Like down two is also another move which is very hard to step. I don't even think you can step it. It's just
yeah.
insane.
Most of the time, I don't think you can.
Yeah, like I feel like
It's not
there's-
true homing, but it's basically
Yeah.
homing.
Yeah,
It's one of them.
like I don't mind 2-1-4 that much. Maybe just not be able to delay 2-1-4. But I think moves like down two, his heat smash, moves like the dive kick is fucking insane to me. And I think something that people don't talk about is Jin's down 4. I think Jin's down 4 is so underrated.
toxic.
That low is that also
The
high
thing-
crushes instantly.
I've always thought it's stupid even in Tekken 7. The thing is, there's just so much more going on to the character now.
Yeah.
Why are you going to complain about down 4 when he's jumping across the screen with plus 20?
True.
Like, we have more... Like, it's true, it's an issue. We've got more pressing issues.
I
It's
do
the
think that
only
is a
reason
privilege,
it's not
though.
mentioned.
Yeah, it's
do
definitely
think
a
it's down
privilege.
for the-
Privilege.
Because it's -12, right? So like,
Yeah. But you can
That's
step his
foolish.
you can step his downfall, but the thing is you can't step all the other moves.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And of course he has back 2-1 as well, which is also another play the game move, just forces you to
Yeah.
play the game and stuff. So yeah, Jin I'm surprised we forgot to mention because that character I think is definitely top 5.
The thing is, complaining about Jin is just... It's what we do every time anyone talks about Tekken. It's complaining about Jin. So it felt like we already said it, basically.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, the game's been out a long time now, and I feel like collectively as a community, we know the characters that are a problem. There's
Yeah.
maybe a couple that go under the radar, but like generally we know who is doing the madness and who it basically isn't in it.
Yeah.
So we've had this conversation many a time for sure.
I think for me, like not enough people are complaining about Brian. I feel right. The way he controls the mid screen now, there's like a big weakness of his. Is like when he had to approach, you had to use like back 1, which is like steppable, and it's like he doesn't really have a good down. He doesn't really have a down forward 1 or whatever. But now he just does QCB1, QCF1 plus
Smart.
2, which one tracks to one way, the other tracks to the other side. Once a +5 counter hit launch that guarantees something on hit that comes out in 13 frames, or it's a safe mid launching heat engager. Like, what?
Fantastic.
We know. I think we know why Brian doesn't get spoken about enough though. It's because most people are like, he's hard. He takes a lot to play.
But he's not though. Doing a taunt jet in match is hard, but you know what you don't need to do to win? Taunt jet.
Just learn taunt heat smash, and I promise you, you're good to go. I promise.
Guys,
That's
Well,
it.
the forward 2 string they buffed, man. Like
Yes.
every hit is -2,
I didn't even know that.
delayable. He has a 10 frame heat engage. If you try to mid check him, he just does 1-2-4.
G Clef.
now that you mentioned it, right? Now that we're speaking about Brian, another thing I want nerfed, just get rid of it, is why do characters like with installs, especially Claudio and Brian, get their installs when they pop heat? I think that makes no sense. I think they're way too strong, especially a character like Brian who has Snake Eyes and heat. It's too much. It's honestly too much. And then Claudio with Starburst, ridiculous.
Yeah, the thing is about that's a bit weird. It's just the thing is, what would they do in heat if they didn't have their install? Right. That's the question. Like,
Because the
you-
heat dash moves and chip damage, innit?
Yeah, like chip damage and heat dash like every other character is doing. Why do they have this?
The thing is,
privilege?
most characters, and I've as a Lee player, I checked. Apart from Lee, every single character in the game has an extra move in heat, and for the install characters, it's just the fact that they're in the install continuously, right? But like everyone else that doesn't have an install, apart from Lee, has an extra property. Like Feng's got that thing where he jumps over. Reina's got the extra kick that makes her move safe. Like everyone's got something extra, right? Some moves just become power crushes for some characters. It's little things, right? But if you take away the install, which I think is better than what we have now, but what would they be doing is the question.
I mean, that's for the dev team to figure out.
You know what I think they should do is give them the install, but they don't get to keep the install, right? Just do heat and get the install without having to land a move, right? But you don't just keep it indefinitely, right? Because like when they finish heat, like they'll do like a bunch of install moves, their heat runs out, and
they
they
got one
still
more.
have one more.
Yeah.
Just give them the install, but they just get it once. One heat burst to get the install. I don't
They
think
use
is
the
asking
heat.
for too much.
So they use one install move in heat and then it goes away instead
Yeah,
of
yeah,
just
you
saying,
just get
yeah,
one free install, one
Yeah.
free install, which I think is already good enough. It's already a lot.
That could
think
be
that's
something that they
the-
adjust, to be fair.
Yeah, I think that's maybe the only fair solution without just gutting them too hard. Right. But yeah, when we're talking underrated though, because you mentioned who's going under the radar, I think Paul's the one going under the radar.
We'll speak about that later. Let's move on to the next one. So is there anything
You,
else you
you
guys
want to
wanna-
move?
Yeah.
You know, what are you saving for Paul?
Don't worry, we're saving something. But is there
So
anything else?
I'll trust you, but he's going under the radar. I'm saying.
I agree. Is there any other things you guys want changed, added to season 2, or besides like the modes and stuff we mentioned, balance, blah blah blah, mechanics, etc. Well, I think we're done here, right?
I think it's just
Yeah, I'd say so.
balance, maybe slightly less plus frames on engages, and like I said, it's mostly character balance. And
Yeah.
Fix the online, but we're getting to that.
We're
so.
getting to that, So the next point we're going to be talking about is DLC predictions. Now, SuperAkouma, I'll let you go first on this one.
Alright. Not Akuma. I already said this, but he's not coming. I can't believe it, right? Like, he's traumatized everyone too much, right? I think even if they somehow made him, like, even low tier, I was going to say balanced, even if they make him terrible, right? He's completely different. People would be unhappy just seeing him back. He overstayed his welcome, let's say, right? The community has soured on him. He was really hype when he was announced, but he's done irreparable damage to the community, unfortunately, right? So as happy as I would be, I don't think it's happening, right? And doing the same guess twice, I don't think that's a very smart move. There's better things they could be doing. Then again, they did 2 Final Fantasy characters, but whatever. Right. But when it comes to DLC predictions, the one I'm waiting for is Armor King, right? My other Tag 2 character, right? The thing is, I think he's gonna be really strong, considering throws are really strong in this game. But it just depends if they decide to give him a full overhaul or not, right? Because he was very Tekken 7, right? Very basic with very safe counter hits, and he played very kind of boring, but in the sense very fundamental, right? So I feel like if they bring him back, they might change him and they might fuck him up. So I'm a bit scared about that. And also, I kind of don't want him in a way because I'm having so much fun with Lee. I don't want the character that could make me switch off of Lee, right? But I think he's definitely coming. I feel like season 2 is a good time to have him in. Like, he was one of the most played characters despite being a DLC in Tekken 7, and he's not in the game, right? So
Can I add to the Armor King thing quickly?
yeah, sure.
I want to say I feel like because of how much they've changed King and the wave dash stuff and things like that, I don't know how they're gonna make Armor King really stand out in a way, because like that was Armor King's thing in it, like the fact that he had a normal wave dash and could do like very fast chain throw. And
yeah, it's just there's so
just
much
weird
to
now.
think about in his move list. Like back one, what they're gonna do to his back one, I don't know. Because like they're gonna have to give a new animation to back 1-2 for it to still be a launch. Like I feel like they're gonna do stuff with his tackle. You know, the one that just has the low or the weird tackle. They're gonna do I feel like they're gonna do too much with that. And somewhere he's gonna breathe fire. Because he could do key charge into fire breath. He's gonna somewhere in his kit or in heat, he's gonna breathe fire for no reason.
I think shadow step that you're on about, right?
Yeah, shadow step.
They're gonna make him more stance based as well. I think we've seen that from a lot of DLC characters as well.
Yeah, it's just. I hope not, but I feel like it's just gonna.
That's
happen.
the go-to, man. That is the go-to, literally.
So, Richie, which characters do you want to see?
I mean, just based off of what I've heard people speak about, you've had like Ancient Ogre, Bruce. I think those are the main 2. Obviously, Anna potentially revealed, with the whole helicopter thing. I think a character that I, at least used to play a little bit in Tag 2 was Ancient Ogre, so I wouldn't mind seeing that character back, just because he's got a mixture of so many different characters' moves, and it would actually be quite interesting to play. And I already play a character that's kind of like that anyway, so that would be a very fun character for me. So yeah, I think Ancient Ogre would be proper sick to come back. And I think a lot of people would pick that character just for the reason that I just stated. Like,
and he's in the anime,
There you go, you know what I mean? So
I've never been a fan of that character, but I know a lot of people do want him back, and he does have a very different looking design. So like he would stand out at least.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the big thing. And then
Yeah.
like they could do something very cool with Heat and just change him up a bit. Like,
Or bring back
could be
True
crazy.
Ogre, even better.
For me,
Honestly, I'd be more hyped for True Ogre than I would be for Ancient Ogre.
Nah. For me, I think
That'd be funny.
Bring the chaos, man.
I want Ancient Ogre. I want a lot of characters, you know. But yeah, this is my list. I want Ancient Ogre, Kazumi, Bruce, Bob,
Yeah, Kasumi.
and for
I
guess.
want everyone back.
Yeah, I want so many characters. I think those characters were so fun to play, and Miguel as well. I think was super fun to play.
Oh, Miguel
I do
has
miss
to
Bob
come
a
back.
little bit,
Miguel
a little
has to
bit.
come back.
And I think, of course, we're getting Anna back, judging on the trailer.
I mean, that's confirmed. We can
Yeah.
just call that confirmed. Who else
Yes,
is gonna be?
yeah.
For guest characters, though, man, I want to give some crazy predictions. I think the next guest character, today is the 29th of December. I think the next guest character for season 2 is going to be Tifa. I think they're going to drop Tifa at the same time as, or near the same time as they drop the next Final Fantasy game. I think we're going to get 2 Final Fantasy guest characters in a row. And I also think down the line, I think we're going to get Akuma, honestly. With the way Heat is, I think it's perfect for Akuma. Akuma or Kiryu, because Kiryu also matches with the Heat system.
Yeah.
If JoKa's predictions are correct, see you on EFC. See you on FIFA. What's he on about?
The reason why I say Tifa is because we saw the interview recently, right, with Harada, where someone asked him, will we get another Final Fantasy character? And he didn't deny it at all.
I think Michael Murray even said, yeah, why not? I think he legit just answered. I mean, there's no reason we can't do it. So I think the thing is, right, I don't know why there was so much complaining about Tifa right before Clive came out. I really don't get it. Like, it was mostly hype for the longest time.
Yeah.
And suddenly, out of nowhere, when it's almost happening, everyone's like, no, fuck Tifa, it's just Guna character, blah, blah, blah.
I think it was just a bandwagon thing, to be honest.
Yeah, but like,
For
where
the
did
most
that
part.
bandwagon start, man? Like, Tifa would have been a lot better than Clive. Listen, I kind of like Clive. He's just overtuned, but I think he's cool. But like, Tifa would have been a better fit, right? Like, she fights with, regular martial arts, just a
That's
bit
what
of
I've heard.
magic.
I've
in
never
there,
seen any combat of hers, but that's what
I
I've heard.
mean,
So.
she's got no weapons, right? She's
Yeah.
mostly fighting with punches and kicks, with a bit of magic thrown in there, right?
Yeah,
So-
it could fit the game better, but we have Clive now.
Yeah. We need to appreciate what we have. We have Clive, so.
Do we need to appreciate?
Appreciate it.
Do
Flip me, fam.
So I like it. Listen, like I said, I've been injured. I haven't been
Of
fighting.
course you
Clive.
like it. Of course you like
Yeah, I
it.
haven't been playing against good Clives. I've only been
Wait
playing
till you
against
come
day one
back.
Clives.
Wait till you
So
come back.
I can't fully know what's going on. I've
Just
been
know.
watching. Like, I've tried to stay in the loop, and I've noticed, I might have underrated the character a little bit, but I haven't experienced it just yet.
Yes,
So,
when SuperAkouma
looking forward
goes
to
live,
that.
I will be there. I will be there.
Please do.
I will be there.
Please do.
But yeah, since we're talking about DLC predictions, I think I wouldn't be surprised if we get some random characters from like TV shows like they did with Negan. I think Negan was probably integrated the best out of all the guest characters besides obviously.
Sick character, man.
It's
sick character.
crazy. Like, I think when they announced Negan, man, the internet was just like going crazy, man.
It was like, it really was the one announcement where everyone was going, where people were the most confused.
Yeah.
Everyone was hyped for Akuma, Geese. People were confused about Noctis, but overall pretty hyped.
Yeah.
But when Negan was announced, everyone was really happy, but everyone was like, anything can happen at this point.
Like, how's
Yeah.
and how is
And
he
then they
gonna
just
fight?
stopped racing guests.
Wait, who was after Negan?
And the just regular characters.
Oh, okay.
Because he was,
Oh,
I think
Was he the last?
he was
the
the
last
last of season 2, I think, no? I think season 2 they started bringing back Julia, Anna, and Armor King and Marduk.
Okay.
But you know that's 4
They
characters.
brought
already.
back Leroy. Well, they didn't bring back Leroy, but they added Leroy, Thakkaram.
Yeah, season 3 they added the new characters,
Yeah,
but
the new
before
ones.
season 3 it was all old characters.
Yeah.
Season 1 had Geese and Noctis. Was Negan also season 1? I can't even remember.
Season
No,
2.
no, season
I'm
2.
pretty sure.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
season 2, yeah. I think
There were
like
5 characters in season 2.
I don't know, but I think
I guess there
It was
were.
somewhere in between. I don't know.
I think what they're gonna do with Tekken 8 is like do 3 characters and then maybe a guest character. I think that's what they're just gonna do.
That's
maybe-
a good model.
Yeah, I think it's a good
Yeah.
model as well. I wonder how many seasons. I wonder how many seasons we'll get.
I mean, they
10.
said that this. The thing is, Tekken 7 was never meant to
Bro.
last. Tekken 7 was supposed to be like 2 to 3 years,
Yeah,
and it lasted for what, 7 or 8?
yeah. Tekken 8 is definitely meant to last.
But they said Tekken 8 is here to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone, I'm sure everyone is thrilled to remember that. Right? Like, it's here to stay for the
Stay
next
for the
like
long run,
8 to 10 years. That's their plan. It could be longer, right?
We
But
haven't even
that's what
reached
they
1 year
plan. Yeah, it hasn't even been 1 year, guys.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're thrilled that I'm reminding you of that. That this is here to stay. There is no new game for another decade, guys.
Live is here, man. Not
You have
even
to
a year.
deal with what we have. You better enjoy
It's
it.
not even been a year. We got Clive. Final Fantasy. Ching ching. Insanity.
insane.
Insanity, man.
But
Wow.
yeah, those are our DLC predictions for the next season. Let's move on to the next point. So the next point, underrated characters. Now there's so many underrated characters. We see so many different opinions on the platform called X, which is amazing. Guys, if you're not on X, make sure you join. It's really good for Tekken. You learn a lot from some of these pro players.
You
Casual
learn a lot
players.
about people.
Yeah, you learn a lot about people as well. But anyways, Richie, who do you think are some underrated characters right now in the current state?
So I'm gonna start off with the controversial one that you're not gonna agree with, but I genuinely believe this. But Leo is an underrated character in this game. And listen to why I say this. Listen to why I say this. Yeah. Where there's no Leo players, right? That's what everyone says. Can you
Good.
imagine if there was a lot of Leo players though? And I'm talking like, imagine like some, Korean high level players took to the character and there was more of a presence in tournament. I feel like you would see a lot more, like you'd see why the character could be good. You get what I mean? Instead of just one outlook of what the character looks like, because you're not seeing too much of it. And then obviously I'm not even out there traveling as much because the game is the game. It is what it is, bro.
I think Leo's stronger than what people give the character credit for. But I'm very happy there's not more Leo players.
This is what I mean, innit? Like the hurt
The
box
thing
is
is,
an
I,
issue.
I hate the way Leo is played. Right, like there's clear weaknesses. Like you can't really play the character in that many ways for it to be effective, I feel. But if you do only the good stuff, right? It's so annoying to do.
I don't.
Yeah.
It really is.
If I'm being honest, I don't think Leo's that good.
I mean, there's just so many better characters, but I think you can say the character's underrated. Like I agree with the term underrated.
Yeah, because there's just not enough spotlight on the character, innit? And there's
Yeah.
not enough like different Leo players out there to showcase why that could be a thing.
Yeah,
So
it's like
that's
no
the
one's
only reason why I
saying
put it
top
out there.
5 Leo, but I think Leo's good.
Yeah, like wall damage, things like that. Jailing string with so many different outcomes. Forward 2 is a move that just hasn't been, tapped into properly yet, which I've figured out very recently. But yeah, like the character is very good, man. Got very good Tekken tools as well, like downfall, downfall 1, -1, things like that. Like stuff that other characters don't really have. So definitely an underrated character in my book. But also, I'm gonna let you get to Brian, and I'm gonna let you have your thing with Brian. Brian obviously underrated. I think because of the difficulty of this character, yeah, people will not really say he's underrated or anything like that. But Kazuya is the most underrated character in the game, in my opinion.
I mean, I feel like most people who are actually any good consider Kazuya to be strong.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's an issue though, because
Especially
only
with
Keisuke-
everything. Yeah. Like
yeah.
when Keisuke did the things, people started to see the potential. Right. It's just that, the character is actually hard. For once, that is a character that is hard.
Yeah, there is some hard things.
Because it's said about basically every character, but it's so rarely true. This time it's true.
Yeah.
Kazuya is actually hard to play, but I feel like most people know the potential. They just know that it's not enough people can. It's not accessible potential. Right?
Yeah.
not
It's-
for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not for everyone, but I feel like most people that are like not like Tekken King main man viewers, right? Like they know Kazuya's strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, SuperAkouma? Give me some underrated characters before I start
Um,
talking about some characters.
Okay, I think 2 characters I want to mention is I said Brian earlier, I don't know if I'd say underrated. I've seen enough people complain about Brian that it's. I feel like most people know, right? It's the same thing I was saying earlier. Lower level players that don't know any better, they go, "Oh, he's so hard to play. He's so hard to play. He's got this just frame. You know the one where he does the taunt and then the jet upper. It's so hard." Yeah, but the character's busted. Genuinely, like he does so much. He controls the whole screen now, which used to be his main weakness. His damage is incredibly high. Like everyone say, oh, but the damage in Tekken 8 is high already. No, like his is above average, right? Great heat smash. Is heat smash what, plus 15 on block? Like he doesn't get a free mix up, but just gets plus 15.
Just anywhere.
Yeah, on a low crushing 50 damage heat smash, right?
I forgot to mention Steve. I apologize.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll say my second one, and then we can all complain about Steve together, right? Because I was gonna forget Steve as well.
Steve
But yeah,
Fox.
Brian, I'm not gonna say too much on Brian because I feel like enough people know, but it doesn't get talked about as much as I wish it was. Right. Then my other pick is Paul. Right? Paul has, like, again, quite hard to get the full potential out of it. But the character's genuinely very, very strong, even outside of Heat, because everyone knows his Heat is busted, right? Great Heat Smash, 3 attempts at a Death Fist that wall splats and is safe, right? Well, wall splats full screen, I mean. He does so much, but like, it moves like forward too. It recovers faster than a jab, basically. And it's a 13 frame heat engager.
Amazing.
Like it's so good. Yeah, every single heat engager he has launches, all of them. Yeah,
Wild.
and like every single heat engager he has launches, and they made it a 13 frame tracking high, right? Then just his overall damage in general, right? Even discounting all the things I said about his heat, like he generally has a lot. He has a bunch of things to improve his tracking. Like when he does back sway into the new forward sway or whatever it's called, deep dive.
Yeah.
Deep dive, yeah.
Yeah, you can't step any of the options. Like he can make his moves that didn't track. So his main weakness, one of his main weaknesses that used to be tracking, can be alleviated now with some weird mechanics. Then yeah, I'm gonna start repeating myself in the end. So yeah, Paul I think is underrated. But he is actually quite difficult to play well.
It's a bit unorthodox.
Yeah, like I've played a lot with Hexmark, right? Because he's my teammate, right? And he showed me what the character can do. And it's just like, we're lucky not a lot of the strong players are not deciding to head to Paul. Like they like I'm seeing like Joey Fury stick to Jack. Bro, just pick Paul. Like you'll do better.
Him, I always say that to him. Paul, literally, even in Tekken 7, but yeah, nah.
Yeah, like his Paul was amazing. He's doing well, but I feel Jack's weak in this game, and I feel Paul's like really, really good.
Yeah.
So I think consider it, man. I'm sure you have already, but like, consider it.
Jack's a weird one. We're not gonna go into Jack obviously because he's not underrated, but he's a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, but all right, let's complain about Steve then.
Yeah, Steve.
Steve, I feel like he's completely changed playstyle, right? They still in the trailer called him the counter hit paragon or whatever, right? That's not his playstyle anymore. He's no longer back one's still amazing, right?
Yeah.
That's not what he does anymore. Now he just plays like Ling. Like he's just about evasion now. Like he's got an amazing sidestep with the weave, right? Like, weave evades way more. His sidestep is amazing even without the weave. Lionheart just happens. And he's got a bunch of, like, moves that have, like, really deceptive frames.
Yeah.
Like, the safe mid from the Lionheart stance is only -4. He can weave after it. And, like, with Lee, I can't down forward 1. And he can do the evasive option. He just weaves at -4, and if I try to do my homing move, I eat back 1. It's not favorable for me. Right?
That new weave move is toxic as well. The mid-high,
yeah.
toxic. Into the Lionheart mix.
And Albatross 2, how much is it? -2 or something?
It's ridiculous.
The launching heat engager. It's just like he's got great frames. His damage is actually quite high. and he has one of the most annoying heat smashes for me because it's got great range and it's fully homing.
It's fully homing.
It's one of the few heat smashes where you genuinely don't have anything you can do against it.
And runs down the clock. It's just like
it's just mid screen
with a mix up
homing into a real mix up. Like there's
break.
nothing you can do that's like it's just completely free. Like there's a few heat smashes like maybe if I step they'll reconsider even though they track, and they're like maybe if I throw some counter hit moves then it'll be worth it. Like there's nothing you can do to stop him doing his heat smash. Like it's completely free.
Yeah.
If he's in heat, there's ranges where you're just like, I gotta stop playing the game.
Heat engage, heat smash, and his one is actually good. Like it makes sense to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
For me, I think Steve's really good. I think he's super underrated. I'm glad you guys mentioned him, and I'm glad like more people are playing him as well in tournaments now. I'm surprised like Loha and those guys don't play him, but just seeing like Numan do so well with him, and of course Numan's an amazing player and he brings out the potential of the character. But I've always said like a character like Steve cannot be bad in an aggressive game because of like back one and stuff. There's always the threat, you know, and he also has like up back 3 now, which is even after nerfs, it's still insane. Honestly, it's crazy how much it evades. But yeah, I think Steve's underrated. I think Lee is slept on. Honestly, I'm gonna say this.
Nah, bottom 3, Arsenal Ash.
I can't believe he said that. I think this character, like, if they nerf the top tiers, Lee's just gonna keep going up and up. Honestly, the only way is up, basically.
Listen, I did a podcast with all the Lee players, and apart from Lee Mishima, we all agreed, right? It's like if they give him heat in season 2 and they nerf the top tiers, then he's the top tiers, right?
Yeah.
Like Lee's really good, and people keep asking me because it's Arslan. He's like the biggest guy, right? It's just like, what do you think of Arslan Ash putting Lee bottom 3? Yeah, but Arslan Ash also said he doesn't know Lee. So,
yeah.
like, yeah, the guy who says he doesn't know put him bottom 3. So yeah, that tells you what you need to know. Like for me, like the character's great. Like people tell me, oh, you should switch off a Lee, pick a top tier, whatever. I'm like, I'm fine. If I'm not doing well, that's not Lee's fault, right? Like I need to practice more. I've been able to. That's on me, right? The character is not doing me a disservice. Like I'm very happy with my choice. The character is really good. He's got weaknesses, but my god, dude, the strengths outweigh them.
Yeah.
Like you just need to not get carried away. I think it's very easy to get carried away with Lee.
In general, in this game, it's easy to get carried away. I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like that's true mostly for most characters. But it's just, I feel like his playstyle now is like kind of a more like a 2D rush down, where you really are up in your opponent's face all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Like even though he has shit like back 4, the way you want to play Lee is up close, up close, up close. Right? Which leads to a lot more, leads to a lot of situations feel like, shit, I overextended even though I'm supposed to extend a lot.
Yeah.
Right? But overall, yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, moving on from Lee, I think the next underrated character, which people probably won't agree with, I think is Law. I think Law is overshadowed by Shaheen. I think Law is like insane, man. Honestly, I don't know why people aren't talking about Law. Like slide 1+2, back 1/2/2 is.
Yeah.
We have to talk about back 1/2/2. That string alone,
it's too strong. Man.
It's too strong. And then on top of that, obviously he has all his heat stuff. I think his power crush is really good. Like it's hard to step.
It's better than it looks. Yeah. Like it looks like it wouldn't be that good, but in practice it's decent.
It's just that heat property. Like it's just madness.
Like his wall carry and damage in this game is insane. And I think people don't talk about his wall combo enough as well. I think his wall combo
too much damage,
and sometimes when you get the mix up between the stomp and 1+2, or is it the low and 1+2? Like I think stuff like that is just too much, man. And I'm surprised people aren't like. I feel like people are talking about Law when double 1 mix up, and everyone went quiet after like 1 day. Normally they talk for like days, but
like,
Law
the talk about Law is like so weird because like it'll just pop up.
Yeah.
Every now and again, someone says, "Yo, he's top 5, one of the best in the game," and you'll see a random tier list from like a good player, like put him really high, and everyone goes, "Yeah, you're right," and then no one ever talks about Law.
Yeah, and I feel like Law in Heat he can do so much, man.
It's like you're right; he's being overshadowed, but the character is He's like easily top 10, and a lot of people put him in the 5th spot for top 5.
Yeah, Law is nuts. I've been saying it
Yeah.
for as long as the game's been out. Law's just been crazy. Like,
Bro, you
from
block
what I've
while
seen of him.
you block while standing 4, and you're in a mix-up.
It's
Like,
insane,
It's
bro.
too good, man.
Like, what do you mean? 11 frame mid, and then he goes back into crouch and does the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, what's
And then
going on?
To carry on with the back 1-2 stuff, it has like utility as well. Like man can in heat can go into crouch, what is it? Slide mix and stuff like that. Go into DSS, parry. Like what's all this extra stuff that he has for no reason?
And then if you finish the string, you get either plus frames, or if it lands on hit, you get a launch. Like, it's insane, man.
Yeah, I don't think it should be a launch. There's so many heat engages in this game that if they just gave a free hit, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
But instead, they're launchers. Like, so many of them.
Yeah, G clef launcher, like.
Yeah. Like, there's way too much of that going on. It's like Dragunov's back 4 free. Like, just don't make it launch. It would still be good if you just got a free move. If it was just a heat engager +5 that gave you like back 1+2 or whatever, it would still be good, but it's a launcher. And it's the same thing with Law's back 1-2-1. Back one? Yeah, back 1-2-1.
Back 1-2-2, yeah. But anyways,
oh yeah, 2-2.
yeah, I think that's it for underrated characters for me. There's probably more I can think of, but yeah, I think those
Maybe
two.
Zafina.
You think Zafina's up there? Yeah.
I think Zafina's
I think
very
it's fair to
underrated.
mention.
I think she's underrated. I agree.
Underrated, I think, is a good word. It's the same as I was saying for Leo. It's like the character's not necessarily amazing, but they're definitely being overlooked. They are good, decent characters, and like people love to say that Zafina's terrible in this game, just because she's not Tekken 7 Zafina.
Yeah.
But like the results don't lie. Like at World Tour Finals, there were a lot of Zafinas.
Yep.
Like both me and JoKa lost to a Zafina.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
like, we know Zafina is good. Not the same go-to option that like everyone was picking Zafina in Tekken 7.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make the character bad.
I think she's just a character that takes you away from the whole Tekken, normal gameplay, when she's going into Mantis stance and all of this very evasive character. And then obviously when she wants to be offensive, the run-in 1+2 move that they gave her for who knows what reason, like as soon as you block that, you're just in the maddest situation. It's like Clive's running 2. Like
there's a lot of situations with Zafina that they're not necessarily like amazing situations, but there's nothing you can do. You just have to hold it.
Yeah. So the fact that the character has stuff like that is, that's really, really strong.
Yeah, like and usually it ends in plus frames for her, right?
Another character I want to speak about is Victor. I think Victor is so underrated as well.
It's just his Oki, bro. Like, if I'm gonna talk about Victor, it's just the Oki.
I don't think just the Oki. I feel like his punishment's really good. He's got good buttons. Like, literally all his buttons are good. Like, I don't see many weaknesses to Victor. And I think he's like recent nerfs. I feel like it was kind of a buff. Like, it changed him so much that like he's like for me he's moved up. I think you could put Victor in top 10. I think I put Victor in my tier list in top 10 or top 15. I think he's so strong. He's so easy to play as well. Doesn't really have that many bad matchups as well. I think he's pretty good.
My only issue with Victor is so boring to fight. That's my main issue. Like, how did they make a character with like a full arsenal of weapons, like 2 swords, knives, and a gun, be boring? Like, how did you manage that?
1+2 down back 4.
At least they made his combos interesting, because like before it was just like a bunch of jabs into FF2.
Yeah.
It's at
It'll
least
be interesting to see how they
that.
change a character like Victor. To be fair.
Yeah, but I do agree the characters like it's kind of like a Shaheen vibe in Tekken 7, where it's just like not doing much, but it works. Everything's good. There's not that many things that are broken apart from like the Oki, like you were saying, like the sword Oki at the wall.
Wild.
It's just really annoying. But apart from that, everything's pretty balanced. But it's like just everything's good. Good range, tracking's okay, good damage, good properties on everything.
Yeah, he doesn't really lack anything, really.
No, nothing he really needs. Just the lows are a bit risky, I guess. That's like the only thing. But the thing is that doesn't make or break a character if they're designed well, and he's designed well. It's like Steve doesn't have any good lows. That doesn't make Steve. That's never made Steve bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
It's alright, man. No lows, just chip.
Yeah,
Just run the chip game.
Yeah, run the chip game, literally.
Literally, fam.
But yeah, I think that's it for underrated characters. Let's move on to the next point. All right, so this point is going to be interesting because I feel like we've seen so many people complain about like online and ranked in general. So yeah, what do you guys think of the state of online ranked? What I think they should do is potentially add like an elo system, maybe some new ranks. I'd really like a deathmatch filter as well. Maybe like even add like seasons maybe for like the top ranked players, the GOD players. So maybe in the top ranks, the ranks get reset every season where you could earn like cool rewards, like I don't know, like a special clothing item when you reach like a certain rank in the elo, something like that. I think it would be cool. I think right now we're just playing ranked for practice mainly, even though it's the off season, but like I feel like there's not much incentive and reason to play ranked, you know, unless it's for content or again, like I said, practice. But yeah, I think a lot needs to be changed with ranked. I just feel like I don't know how they're gonna change it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so a few things you said, like the elo system. I think they need a complete change of the rank system, because right now people are grinding to God of Destruction in 1 day, right? At least Omega took 2 days usually, right? Back in 7, that's not good either, but it's slightly better.
Yeah,
it's just like people are grinding to 999 points, and it's just like even the people who do, then they're not even happy about it, right?
Yeah,
it's just there's no incentive game wise to do it. Like you're in ranked and you're just playing because you kind of enjoy the game, or you know, your love-hate relationship, I guess, but you just kind of play it for practice, for content. Like when you're at the top rank, like nothing happens.
yeah.
So I think an elo system is better because you keep fighting, and it does really, and also it would kind of stop one and dones, because if you're only fighting weak players, you don't really go up, right? So like right now, the better way to play ranked is not to look at the leaderboard, is to look at the Waivuwank site, right? For those of you who know that, where it gives you a rough elo system based on all the data. It has the API, it knows every match you do, and it bases the points won and lost on your opponent's elo. Like if you manage to beat someone like Strug, right? Best example, right? Who's really got a really high elo because he keeps winning, or Dumbly, right? Like if he loses against you, he'll lose the equivalent of like 6 matches for you. And if you lose, you don't lose that much. So it's worth you trying.
Yeah.
And if you win, you get highly rewarded. Whereas right now you get rewarded on streaks, but you're streaking 2 different people because it's first to 2s.
Yeah.
And like usually the connection varies, so like losing points doesn't matter at us after a certain point. But like when you lose 2 matches to a good player and then suddenly you're 150 MS and you just lose another one, like it feels bad even though it's meaningless. So I think elo with no streaks is just a better system. Now I wanted to say something about the cosmetics you said. I like the idea, but I feel like they can't really lock it behind the top ranks a lot. Or there needs to be another way to unlock it, like later down the line, or in the battle pass or something. Because if you lock things behind upper ranks, they're making cosmetics for like 2% of the player base, right?
True.
Because like we're talking like, oh, it doesn't mean anything, it's whatever. But there's like 2,000 people tops at Tekken God and above, right? Which
or
to
maybe,
us it feels like everyone, because that's our bubble. But
or maybe like a title. Like I remember in the previous games when a certain player would like win a tournament, they'd get like a title, you know, like the titles that say like, you know, Tekken 8 or My Time Is Now, blah blah blah. They would have like
that's still a cosmetic. People are gonna be like, oh, why can't I get that? Which I don't
get
which
better.
I like, you know, fuck them. But at the same time,
Like, you know what? Let me just quickly say, like, just talking about this, I feel like something like that would actually be very good, because like, fair enough, some players won't get to that level to get it, but like, how long have the top players been grinding this game? Like, and I'm not even just talking about us, I'm talking, you know, in Asia, wherever the case, you know, players have been playing this game for like 20 years, so it'd be mad for them to have something that they can just, you know, have.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, give it in the battle pass later is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm saying it's a good idea, but make it so that it's not completely locked to everyone.
Yeah.
Just make it like release it like is 6 months later or a year later, like a substantial amount, right? So you have time to flex it. Right?
Don't you think they could do like an end of, like you mentioned seasons, innit? Don't you think they could do like an end of season, like for God of Destruction players, where the one player at the top just gets, I don't know, sent some special item, just literally that one player.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. Like when I hit 999, and I think I was the first one in the world, right? I thought I would get like,
so, right?
I think I'd get like something special, like some kind of title or something, because I thought it can't be that hard to like just give someone a title, you know? Like they did that in the past. Like when someone would win a tournament, they say champion of this tournament. Like I think that's so easy to do, and I know it's such a small thing, but I think to players like us that are like veterans
I think it would be good. Yeah.
It'd be so cool, you know.
It's a mastery thing as well.
Yes.
Like you completed it. You completed the game.
I'll just say, I agreed it'd be great, but at the same time, that's not really helping the whole player base.
It's true.
But I think it's good. But I do think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I agree.
This kind of goes into the maybe season 2 wishlist or something a little bit as well.
Yeah,
I guess.
I mean, I was saying we need a complete change of how the ranks work, because the whole rank system I don't think is very good. What they can do is like rank up normally, and when you get to God of Destruction, start the elo system. I think other games do that, where you don't get put in the elo pool at the start. So, but if we don't get that, which I don't think necessarily we will, we do need a rank reset. Right? Every time there's a new battle pass, which is every 3 months or something.
I think rank reset would pull like it put a lot of people off, like the casual specifically. So I don't think rank reset is.
Don't reset the casual ranks. Like only do it for like blue rank and above, maybe.
But how do we know who's a casual or not? That's another thing, because the ranking system is so easy in this game. That's another thing.
Yeah, but it's so easy for us, right?
Wait,
That's why I'm saying blue and above, maybe, or purple and above. Purple goes back to blue, but no lower than that.
How do you directly address here? Because I've seen this quite a little bit, like the players that are at max rank but don't feel like they should be max rank. Like how? No, because I've seen it in it. They've said it themselves in it.
Maybe stop one and dunning. I don't know.
I think
no, but like, they're at max rank in it, and they're beating people, but they don't feel like they should be. Do you know what I mean? Because of maybe time put in, things like that, like them kind of factors.
I think
people are insecure. What you want me to tell? The game's
but like,
not
how
gonna
do
fix
you
that,
balance
man.
this game so that like they're not, all the way at the top with all
send
the
them,
pros and stuff?
send them this clip. Even if you are max rank, you're ass. It means nothing that you are top rank.
Yeah.
Don't think that it's undeserved. Think that this is no reward. Here's what you should be thinking.
It should be a reward, isn't it?
Yeah, it should.
But right now it's not. But so the way it is, don't feel like you shouldn't be proud of yourself because you don't deserve it. You shouldn't be proud of yourself because it's shit. There you go.
I think another thing we should mention is like, I'm happy there's a block list, but I feel like there's way too many players that have been using the block list to improve in ranked. Like I'm just gonna say it straight up, like it's a blessing and at the same time it's a curse, because there's way too many players, and we all know who they are, especially in Europe, that have been like trying to avoid like playing against the top players. And I mean, I don't know how to say this, but like I understand in a way sometimes some people just want a chill session, they want to just get their rank, blah blah blah, but like for the people that want to practice, the competitors and stuff, I don't get like why they'd block other competitors, you know? Like, don't you guys want to improve together, you know, like challenge yourself and stuff? Like, I think the block list, I think something needs to be done about that as well.
Yeah,
I don't think you can do anything about it, unfortunately.
Yeah,
the thing is, we need a block list, because being able to block the cheaters has made mostly... It means like you find a cheater and then you go, it's over, right? And then you never really have to worry about it.
Yeah,
like you don't run into as many as we used to. Right? Used to run into a lot of rage quitters before the changes.
Yeah,
but that's, they changed the game a lot, so you don't necessarily need the block list for that anymore. But I think it's a necessary evil. People are gonna abuse it. I don't think there's any fix for that. We need it, and it's a blessing we have it. If some people don't want to be competitive about it, listen, like I said, I don't really care what happens online because it's shit anyway. So if people want to abuse it and don't want to fight me because they lose, just so be it. I'll play with the people that are actually good. I'll play with you guys when I can actually fucking match with you.
I'm not good.
Like I swear, the amount of times I'm like, they're online, we're gonna play. We play for 4 hours at the same times, and then we don't face each other.
Yeah.
And I just get Russian after Russian after Russian, man.
Yeah.
I think
I get the same people a lot.
I think to add to this point, like I think the matchmaking needs to change as well. Sometimes I've been finding Middle Eastern people for some reason recently, and I know there's other players online, but I can't seem to find them. And I think another thing I want to add is there needs to be more incentives to play ranked. I think that's like the main thing, you know. Like there has to be more incentives.
Well,
like,
yeah, the incentive would be to completely change how it works.
Yeah.
I think that's the only incentive you can make.
Yeah.
Because like when you do the cosmetics, because you were saying the cosmetics, once you get the cosmetic, then you get into the same problem.
More
Like,
cosmetics.
Why would you play?
We want more cosmetics.
More cosmetics? Yeah, and that comes like when they get time to do some more. They need to just completely change how ranked works.
Yeah.
Just because like right now, like it didn't really matter before, but it matters even less now somehow. I don't know. Maybe we've just grown older. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the reward for us when it comes to ranked used to be the fact that, you know, we can download the person we're playing against or get downloaded, you know, but we learn a lot regardless. You know, it's not just first to two and then on to the next opponent, and then you forget about the match entirely anyway, and then you play them 5 days later. It's like you go into a death match, you know, someone gets promoted, someone gets demoted, and that could solve the people not feeling like they should be at a certain rank in it, because, you know, they have to play out a set and win that set, and then they'll feel more satisfaction out of it. But that don't exist in it because they're just playing, you know, player to player quickly.
There's a bit more satisfaction to it, but I feel like the thing is for the queue, it's good that everyone's in first to two.
Yeah.
Technically,
Yeah,
because
I
like
agree with that for sure.
because like when you're like, okay, I want to fight a top player, and they're just like, they're in a death match, they're gonna be there for 6 hours. They're basically unavailable.
I think there needs to be
You're
a
not
separate.
finding anyone.
There needs to be a separate filter for that if they add death matches. I think.
First to five, first
that's
to
gonna
sevens.
that's gonna make finding people even harder.
Yeah, no, you know what? It can't exist though. I fully hear it.
I mean,
think
it
for the
can.
game
It's
to
just,
thrive, it can't exist.
It needs to be done in such a way that it like appeases to both casuals and the veterans, of course.
The thing is, the veterans have to just change. I think that's more of a way of how we think and how we do things. We need to, when we fight each other in a ranked, just agree to just go and do like a set. Like I think that's the only way that's gonna happen, because you can't have first to two and deathmatch.
Yeah,
And for the health of the game, unfortunately, I do think first to two is better.
But what you meant to do if you ask someone for a set? Like I asked Richie for sets and he says no. Like what am I meant to do then? I'm joking.
I think in ranked, we should have a button to go ask this person to go into a private room, right? Like just to go straight from I found him in ranked. Let's go to a private room.
That's a good idea, but again, it's still like the queue issue will still be there because we're gonna play a set and then
no longer in the queue now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
maybe
they're
like
not in the queue anyway.
maybe like extend the set to like first to 5 or something. I don't know.
More points on the line, extend the set.
Yes, even though points don't mean shit, but like yeah.
I think no, you know what? I think with how they changed TWT, I think first to 3 now makes sense. You see how they added the extra first to 3 matches
in top 8
TWT finals, yeah. So I think first to 3 now makes more sense for sure. If they're gonna add it and change first to 2, first to 3, you know, it's better than nothing in it.
First to 3 online instead of first to 2.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying? I mean that's not a big enough difference to cause problems.
Yeah,
so I think it's
exactly.
positive. I think we can move it up to first to 3.
Yeah, it's true. Like, death matches, not being able to see people in the queue because, you know, just stuck in a death match for 5-6 hours. It's a bit jarring still. So I fully hear it. And people want to play against different characters and all that. And
I do feel like when you don't have a thing forcing you to stop, you'll play against people with shit connections, and you'll get angry. But like we know that we don't quit even if it's bad.
Yeah.
Like we know that it's not good for us, but we don't stop, and then we get angry.
Yeah.
So I think the game making you take a small break to go back to practice mode,
it's healthy.
Yeah.
I think it's healthy in the long run. But I think we can move it up to first to 3. Yeah.
I think so as well. Maybe first to 3 would be better.
Yeah, first to 2, just whatever match, whatever set, anyone can win, you know. Especially when you play against someone so much, and that's kind of just how it goes on ranked, innit? You run into the same people on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So it becomes very exhausting, innit? But you see a lot more situations in the first to 3.
Yeah, but maybe there is a way to do death matches. Like if they change the way ranks work,
Yeah.
maybe there is a way to put your rank on the line and just
Like
they would have to work differently than with the points.
another thing.
But you could do you could maybe do first to 10,
Yeah.
and you would lose something, and if you win, you would win something that's like visible to other players. Maybe like you get like a star under your life bar or some shit that everyone sees. Like this guy's just won a bunch of first whatevers in a row. And
Or
people
even
see
like
the-
bring back the rank match statistics that you have for Tekken 7. Like you could see how many wins person's got, something like that, something small like that would be interesting.
Oh yeah. Bro, win-loss was kind of cold, you know.
Yeah,
like back
win,
on tag
yeah,
2.
on tag. I think that was so good.
That was sick
Tag
to see.
2 had
man.
like your win rate calculated percentage wise.
That's what I mean. That was sick to see, man.
Yeah,
You know what they had in Tag 2? I don't know if you guys remember this. The World Tekken Federation.
the teams
what
and
the fuck,
stuff.
basically.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it had so many statistics that you like. That's kind of like out of what we were saying, but like that shit was so cool. Like you could see how much they like to throw. Let me see everything that they would put into your ghost, more or less. They would have calculated. You could check someone's stats. It would tell you how they play every single match.
That's crazy, man.
Like, did they use more throws? How many times did they not break? Like, I can't remember everything that was on those pages, but it had a bunch of
I didn't
cool
even know that.
stats, and it showed instead of like, oh, this guy is like, what's the stats we have now? The S rank in like
bro.
respect. What's the stats?
Blocking,
Like,
defense.
no, not the radar
chart
chart.
thing.
Not the chart. The actual stats.
Oh, you mean like the things that make up the chart? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking
the
about?
thing that make up the
okay,
chart.
Okay.
That you would have
yeah, we
that.
got some weird things.
But they didn't have
Spirit
weird
and all that.
names. Yes, Spirit, right? They didn't have weird names. They would just be like, here's how much time they spent blocking. Here's their punishment they dropped. Like it would average combo damage. Like it would tell you actual things instead of, oh, this guy is very honorable. Which what the fuck does that mean? Man?
Another thing I wanted to add, I think no one mentioned it, is demotion matches need to be more meaningful. Like, why are they getting demoted and then they're on a promotion?
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
They should just lose their rank and have to fight to get it back and
But
not just match.
I feel like they did that for the casuals, though. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, I think for the casuals is better. Because, bro, getting demoted fucking hurts, right?
Yeah.
Or used to.
It used to hurt, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
But do you want it to be more painful?
No, but imagine these new GODs losing GOD and having to do that long run again. Like,
Yeah.
then I feel like
It makes the rank more worth it and like valuable, you know.
I think that's one way they could change the top ranks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
about the rest,
maybe if it's just the top ranks. Maybe if it's
Yeah.
just the top ranks.
because the way they have it now, you verse the same rank very commonly, right? So
Yeah.
that would actually be really good. I feel like.
Yeah, because it is the thing is like it's just the same thing as I was saying earlier on the streak losses. Like let's say your demotion match just happens to be against someone where the connection shit.
Yeah.
right? And it's just like this isn't fair.
Yeah.
I could beat this guy, but I'm playing online.
Points gone, man.
Yeah, the fact that you could go, oh, I'm demoted, but it's whatever. I think for the health it's better, but like I don't think that makes rank meaningful. It helps a bit, but like I said, we just need a complete overhaul.
Yeah.
Like, because we keep thinking within the framework we have,
Yeah.
and we just need to completely change what we're doing. Like, I don't think there's any way to make the ranks we have now good, unless they, in a way, bring back like Tag 2 ranked, where the top players were Raijin, right?
Yeah, man. I miss those days, you know. Even Season 1 Tekken 7, bro. You had no one
Yeah.
at the top ranks until they changed it, and then
Yeah.
everyone got top ranks.
Yeah, it's just I don't know exactly what they changed. I like that they made it clearer though,
Yeah.
because you could keep it clear and still keep it like painfully hard.
Yeah.
They changed it to a point system, right?
I
Like,
think
you
No,
so.
but it
Good
was
wins.
points, but we didn't know what the points were.
Yeah,
before.
yeah. They made it clear like how much points you needed, and
Yeah.
maybe they changed something else. I'm not too sure.
I think keep it clear, but the thing is, the ranks didn't really. The thing is, right now, people like the PNGs that change, right? They like their rank to go up. Whereas back in the day, it was like, I'm stuck in these ranks. Yeah, I'm stuck in these ranks. I'm not moving. This is
Green
the
ranks
level
and
I'm
all
at. Like, it wasn't a stigma to be orange ranks, right? Orange ranks were like decent players back then. And they didn't complain about not being able to move up. Because like that was good. You just alternate between whatever rank you're at. And there were dudes like Forsaken that just had like every rank all the time. You guys know Forsaken, the Eddie player?
I've heard the name.
Unfortunately, yes.
The legend.
It's a legend, yeah.
But this guy had like 18,000 wins and 18,000 losses. And I swear you could be at any rank and find him. Like,
Wow.
he would just alternate between green rank and Fujin. Like,
Ranked has changed a lot though.
Yeah.
Like from then till now, and not so much the ranks, but I mean like the player base in general. Like everyone just has way more information now.
yeah.
You know, so people are just improving at a way faster rate. Obviously, Tekken obviously enhanced that a little. Tekken 8 enhanced that a little bit. We don't need to go into details about that, but yeah, like just generally the Tekken community has changed, and people are getting better with way more information. So
Yeah, I will say the tournament scene, I do feel has gotten a lot more competitive.
Yeah,
in
definitely.
Tekken 8.
Definitely.
Like, I remember like early Tekken 7 when it was just like it was just like 20 guys that were like decent, and it was like 3 of those that were actually winning things. Right now, there's so many people in every country. They could all win.
Yeah.
Right?
It's crazy.
And there's a lot more traveling as well, bro. Like every major, like there used to be like 2 Koreans at every major. Now there's 10.
Neither's the
And it's just
traveling.
like
every major,
every major. It's just like it's so much harder now. Like, it's so weird how offline has gotten so much more competitive, and online is just so much more dead.
Yeah, it's
Like, how
wild.
did it should be going up both ways, but it's just not.
I guess that just comes down to the top players going out their way to, you know, travel and play against all these top players. You know,
Yeah.
we kind of just stay in that bubble, in it. So
Yeah.
that's why online obviously doesn't carry over to the tournament offline player level in a way. Some of them do, but like very small percentage.
So I guess
Exactly.
we touched on like the next point, which is the last point, but I think I'll mention it. How do you guys think the game can progress to appease to both casuals and veteran players?
Yeah, I mean, we've touched on it a little bit. Just a few
think
more
here
fun
and there
modes. The thing is, there's a lot about the casual Tekken player
Yeah.
that we just don't understand. It's like they keep making those lounge cosmetics, right? There must be someone hanging out in the lounge, right?
Yeah.
No,
Like,
there's a
they
few
wouldn't-
people still. There's a few.
They
people.
wouldn't keep doing stuff if no
Yeah.
one was going there.
I think that's such
And,
a
like-
good addition, though, man. The lounge and stuff.
Oh,
Even though I don't
it's a
use
really
it.
good. It's a really good addition, but like you said, we don't use it.
Yeah.
And it's like the type of player that goes in there, we don't know what they want. Because we're in our
Yeah.
bubble, we're all thinking more or less the same kind of things, right? But like, who do we ask about what the casuals want? Like,
The thing is, I've been in the lounge a few times, you know, just for the bants, whatever, just to go in there because I'm on the game, not really doing too much. And there is, it feels like a lot of the people in there, like if they see a pro player come into the lobby, like I don't know, man, it almost feels as if like you just had some kind of IRL tournament interaction. You know what I mean? Like they're so gassed to see you. Like
yeah, they somehow got the feeling of like a local,
in a
like
way,
a
yeah.
thing where a meeting spot that's online. I mean, they did a great job with the lounge. It's just like, it's sad it's not for us, you know. Sad that we don't care.
Yeah, we're just-
Because
we're
it's
just
such, but
grafted.
it is really cool. They've done a lot for casual players. That's the thing. They have done a lot.
I like.
And I saw the stats for, I think it was like the 20 most sold PlayStation games.
Yeah.
And like people, and like the whole Tekken community on X right now is going, oh, Tekken's dying and this and that. It was at 16. It's the 16 most sold PlayStation game, Tekken 8. Like the game's doing well. The problem is there's not a lot of incentive for the top to keep being at the top. But so I don't think they need to change much for casuals because people are playing.
I think
Yeah.
like the addition of like the lounge and obviously stuff like replays. I think that helps the casuals as well because they can watch other
Yeah.
people, things like that. I think it's a really good like feature to add. But yeah, I'm not sure like what else they could do. Like besides also like guest characters, I think guest characters are a good way to appease the casuals. You know, there's a lot of people I saw recently after Clive dropped. They've said, you know, they want to try Tekken, like people from the Final Fantasy community. And then I've seen people from the Tekken community also saying, I want to try Final Fantasy 16, which is pretty cool as well.
Yeah, people have been as well. Like I've seen that. Like a lot of people playing Final Fantasy 16 after Clive's release.
That was nice to see. That people aren't just they might be hating the character in the game, but they are actually going, yeah, let's actually give it a go.
Yeah.
And it's like a good game from what I heard.
I've heard that as well. I want to try and play it maybe.
I played the demo. It was good.
Content, man.
It's just long, innit?
Yeah, but I feel like they've added quite a lot of things for the casuals. Obviously, you know, the lounge is there.
Also,
if they ever want to just...
Sorry to interrupt, but special style is also another great way to appease to the casuals. I think that is such a good idea, honestly. What, you lost
it? It is, you know. No, it is, you know.
It's good for the top players as well. If you know, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But basically,
but the lead players know what I'm talking about.
It's the blazing kick.
There's so much more than that.
Is there?
Oh my days!
Wow.
I'll tell you what there is.
You know?
I did it. I did it in Fighting Tuesday, and they were going crazy. You know how I don't have a back turn launch anymore with down forward 3-2-3.
Yeah.
I can do 1-2 instant while staying 2-3. You can't duck. You can't do anything. It's combo.
Amazing.
And like if I do it fast enough in front of you, you block my 1-2. I can while staying 2-3. You can't power crush. You can't even power crush. Can't jab. Can't do anything. It's just frame traps.
I'm gonna mention to you guys what happened recently. I went to like just a fun local here. Like I'm talking local, like by my house, like just to chill in it. Like with Cloud was there and someone called Geo, and basically I played against a very new player, right? And I said to them, you can press obviously the button that turns on special style. They were playing bears, and one of the buttons was running 1+2.
Whoa! No way.
Yes.
It just comes out slower than natural running 1+2 as well.
So literally, this player who's just played Tekken for the first time in their life is pressing that one button that gives them running 1+2, and now I'm getting pressured by this new player. Bro, I was thinking, wait, that's a dumb move to have as a single button. Like, what's going on here? Like,
there's a one button giant swing on special style for King.
Really?
But it comes out slower. 20 frame giant swing or something.
Whoa! I didn't know it's like to that level. You know.
But that's crazy though, isn't it? Like that.
It's got a lot of additions where you're like, wait, really? Like, there's electrics on one button. Yeah, they can just do electric.
Yeah.
I think it's 17. I think.
Yeah, so that new players can just, they could host a new player tournament. They all have special style on, and they can all have a good time in it because they're just. It's pretty crazy, man. It's pretty crazy.
I think the main takeaway from everything we said right now is just we don't need to worry about the casuals. The casuals are doing okay. It really is like it's the people that are complaining and that are worried about the game right now are the core people, right? They're not the casuals, right? The casuals I think are doing okay. But yeah, the thing is there's too many people that they're just dooming about the game too much, right? And it's becoming like an echo chamber. And it's just like, if you don't like the game to that extent, right? You can have gripes with the game. We all have our own issues. There's people they don't like the game, bro. Don't play it. Play something else, bro.
Yeah.
There's so much you could be doing. And there's but there's no. What else could I be doing? I said, bro, I was playing chess for a few months. Just like learn something else. It doesn't even have to be a fighting game.
I do think it's difficult though. Like,
people got that sunk cost mentality. Listen, it's like relationships. Be happy it happened. Cherish the time you had where you had fun, but leave the toxicity. When you're in a toxic relationship, you love that person, but it's over.
A SuperAkouma spitting game right now, man.
Like, bro, it's just basic philosophy for life. If you're not enjoying life, change. Don't like it might have been fun at one point.
You always have
you
options.
did enjoy it.
You always have the choice.
Yeah, do something else, bro. And clearly, and if your friends are not liking the game just like you are, and because people are complaining together, then together play something else. Like, that'll be even more fun. You're already with friends, bro. Play Marvel Rivals. I don't know.
There's no clear cut answer to that, innit? Like, 'cause there's people that just will not just part with the game in it. Like that's just not
Yeah,
gonna
but-
happen, innit?
But it's not gonna happen. I'm saying it should. That's the thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
but it's for their sake. I'm saying that. I'm not saying, oh,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sick
yeah.
of hearing complaining, blah blah blah. No, like there's a lot that needs to be said about the game. Not everything's perfect, clearly, right? But like, there's people that they do not like it. It's not. They don't have issues with it. They don't like it.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, it's so weird from Tekken 7 to 8 because Tekken doesn't change the way Street Fighter does, where every Street Fighter feels like a completely different game, completely different, right? It doesn't. You don't get like the skills barely transfer over, apart from the like pure fundamentals, right? But from 7 to 8, it feels very similar. But the game philosophy and the way you have to play it is completely different. But you get the same feeling, but the things don't work. And people have a hard time wrapping their head around that. And it's just like, bro, if you liked Tekken 7 that much, and you don't like Tekken 8, that's normal. It's a completely different game.
Yeah, I think another
Like-
thing as well, like it's okay to voice your opinion, but you have to be constructive. Constructive. You can't just say stuff and just like throw it out there.
Yeah.
and, like it's
Yeah.
not.
As well.
Yeah,
Pure emotions.
it's not like benefiting anyone, you know. And again, I think another thing we should like keep in mind, like it is a new Tekken, and we shouldn't necessarily be comparing it to like the previous Tekken. Like it's okay to compare it sometimes, but you need to remember
Yeah,
it's a new game. Like
that's what I'm saying. They're
Yeah.
comparing it when it is completely different.
yeah,
Right? And it's just like Tekken 7 was a game about patience and objectively not a lot was happening, right?
yeah,
Because it was basically, I compare it to the Cold War, right? You have these super safe, super high reward counter hit launchers, right? It's the Cold War. We both have nukes, so no one presses anything. And then there's 15 seconds left in a round, and then we got to play the game, right? And if you like that game of patience, good. It was a good game. I played it for 8 years. I'm not going to shit on the game, right? But Tekken 8, things are usually, unless you're playing Nina, right? They're more risky than they used to be. And
Yeah.
by that risk means that you're not as scared to do anything. So both players are actually fighting each other, right? And now that you have the ability to sidestep way more consistently, despite what some people have actually tried to tell me, right? Sidesteps actually work in this game. Like, you can be a lot more up close, and there's a lot more decision making, right? And it's no longer a game of patience, right? There's patience at play. You can't be an idiot, right? But it's no longer a game that revolves around patience. You're not in the Cold War anymore, right? And if you liked that gameplay, it's gone.
What
I'm
do you-
sorry.
What do you think, Richie? Man, you look a bit stun locked.
Forward 1+2 Clive is the only button that is in my head right now. And the thing is, yeah, I think generally like the sidestep is better,
think
and you
you-
will see it. But there is definitely more tracking on some
Yes.
dumb moves.
That's what I was
Like,
gonna say.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, there's dumb moves. I'm not saying there's not.
I think there's a lot of moves that just track way more than they did now than in
But
Tekken 7.
but the thing is, there's more aggression in this game, right? That was the main point, right? There's a lot more aggression. It's no longer a game of patience. You're throwing the weapons at each other. You're both attacking, and you're both butting heads. And whoever comes out on top comes out on top, right? And that's very different. And if you don't like that, then you don't like Tekken 8, right?
Yeah.
Then that's okay. And that's why when you compare it to 7, it's so different. Because I played competitively in Tag 2, right? And it wasn't like there wasn't as many dumb shit as there was in Tekken 8, I guess. There's not a lot of forced stuff as there was in Tekken 8, but the game was a lot more active, a lot more in your face, despite the fact that we had amazing movement. That you could fucking step at -9 and you were gonna step stuff, right? But it didn't feel as passive as Tekken 7, right? That's the thing that Speedkicks complains about a lot. Is Tekken 7, you're not playing for most of the game. You're waiting, right? It's very, very passive. Again, I'm not a hater of Tekken 7, but that's how the game differs, right? So again, if that's what you want, that passive patience game is gone. I'm sorry. It might feel like the same game because movement feels similar, combos feel similar, and characters
for the most part, are similar to their old selves, right? But it's no longer a game of patience. So, yeah. Move on. That's what I'm saying.
That was interesting, man. I like how we spoke about like appeasing to both the casuals and pro players, and then we started talking about the negativity and stuff. That was good though, you know. But yeah,
it needs to be mentioned. There's so much negativity.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But like the thing is, we're in our own bubble. I try to stay close to my local community because we're very active and we're very close, and we have like a good like 30 players, and like a lot of them meet up in the Discord, and like we're a lot more active as we were in Tekken 7, right? And I'm seeing the way they see the game because they're not pro players. There's some like good players that aspire to bring to the top, and there's some players that just play for fun and for the vibes, right? And mostly people just like the game, right? And they're friends, and they got friends that barely play, but they play casually with them sometimes, and they like the game. It's just the negativity is from old heads.
Yeah, I like the game as well, although it has its like, you know, negatives. But I think me going into Tekken 8, like when Tekken 7 was out, I always said to myself, like even when Tekken 8 was released, and when they showed Tekken 8 in Amsterdam Tekken World Finals and all that stuff, like I said to myself, the game's not going to be perfect. It's not going to have an arcade release as well, most likely. And I just said to myself, like, it's going to be bad, but I'm going to have to get through it. And it's not as bad as I expected it to be, honestly. Like, it's still fun to some extent. You can't play this game for like 6-7 hours like we used to for Tekken 7. Like, I feel like Tekken 7 we could just play like
it is a lot more tiring.
It's tiring, mentally exhausting.
It's less passive because you're doing more things.
You got to make quick decisions. Like, it's crazy. There's so much to think about in such a short amount of time. Like, yeah, I think like it has its positives, it has its negatives, but of course we need to still support the game because we're part of the community. We enjoy playing Tekken, and I think that's the most important thing, you know.
Fair enough. I think as someone who plays the game for that 7-hour period that we used to in Tekken 8, 7, sorry.
Yeah, like I don't know how you do it.
Bro, but I will say like, fam,
and I'm saying that as someone who keeps saying how much I like the game, but I'm like, I don't know how you play this for that long.
All it takes is one loss to the wrong character and your day is finished. I promise you, your day is done. You run to Eddie Gordo and you lose in a way that doesn't feel right. Your whole day is done. I'm serious, it's done. Like, the game is mad, bro. Like, you could be having the best day ever. You run into the wrong character and you just get bodied, and you're like,
I feel like losses can be very hard in this game.
They're hard to
but
take.
I feel like overall the game is kind of harder as well. That's something I wanted to touch on.
Yeah,
like, I feel like you need a lot more matchup knowledge than you used to.
Not just
like before on raw fundamentals, you could beat a character you had no idea about.
I think not
you
just
can't
that.
Do that anymore.
Like, I know the offense been like buffed and improved. But I think defense is even more important than offense in this game, and
definitely
you need to be able to make like the right decisions at the right time. It's so important, and it's not just with the guessing. It's just like with the times you disrespect and whatnot, like the times you use jabs, like certain moves, power crushes and whatnot. It's just there's so much to it, man. There's so much to it. This game is
I feel
very
like
hard.
There's times where the right option is to disrespect a lot more.
Yeah.
And there's times where you need to power crush. Times where the sidestep is more key than it was before, and it's tighter. Right?
Yeah, it's a scary game, man.
There's more to do. There's more to think about.
Yeah.
And overall, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Right. And like I said, I think with some fine tuning and some good balancing, and like you said, we didn't have an arcade release. We didn't have 2 years of the game being played by people suffering through it for us to have a curated experience.
Exactly.
We're unfortunately testing the game, right?
Yeah.
And like I think I have very high hopes for season 2, but overall I think in a few years we're gonna look back on these days and go, wow,
hopefully
that was shit. This is so much better now, and we will, the game will be better. I truly believe that. Like people, bro, season 1 of Tekken 7. I remember when people were like, I'm not playing this game. I'm quitting. This is so much worse. Blah blah blah. And then season 2 dropped. And people were like, this is the best Tekken ever. Tekken 7 Season 2 saved Tekken. It's amazing. They did everything right. And then at the end of Season 2, people were like, Jin, Steve, fuck those guys, right? But overall, when Season 2 dropped,
and they reduced the lag as well, which is a big thing. Like I remember when Tekken 7 came out, and in the first year, people were talking shit. There was just a lot less social media involvement. But I was talking to the people. People were not happy with Tekken 7 when it came out, even on console, even after the arcade release. So give it time. It's getting fixed, hopefully.
Hopefully.
There's no point being pessimistic about it. Is the thing, right? It's just why are you going into it thinking it's going to be shit? If you're doing that, again, do something else. That's life advice, not Tekken advice. If you think it's going to be bad, don't do it. Just so be positive. There was no arcade release. Overall the patches they've done have been good. Right, from the first few patches they were doing, bro. When the defensive patch dropped, wasn't that really good? When you could suddenly step heat burst,
like the game's changed a lot. The game's
pros weren't homing anymore. There was a lot. Right?
Yeah, a lot's changed since the launch of the game, and I think that's good because they're working more faster now. Like with the balance patches they're dropping.
Yeah,
I think it's good. And
there's a few questionable decisions in there.
Yeah,
but overall it's been good. Right?
So far, yeah.
Yeah. So season 2, which is when they're gonna be really able to show us something different. Like you said, there's changes to heating gauges, which could be huge, right? So they're changing some of the mechanics people are not necessarily vibing with the most.
Yeah.
So stay hopeful.
I'm very optimistic. Like as soon as the patch notes drop, I'm gonna tune into Richie's stream and I just want to see his reaction as well, and then I'll do my reaction on my stream. Like, I'm really excited, honestly. Regardless, I still think I'll play Tekken. You know, I'm a big fan of Tekken. I'm a long-term fan, and yeah, it's something I enjoy doing.
I have one more thing to say.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I'm worried because we are people that have played this game at a very high level for a very long time, and maybe, just maybe, I'm not saying they are, but maybe they are caring more or catering the game more towards the newer players to then, you know, get to a high level for what they're trying to build. And, you know, we're going to be too tired of it at that point. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, this is new for them, but this is, you know, what we've been doing for how many years. And this change might not be what we want.
It's possible.
That's the only thing I'm scared of. That's it, really.
I think it's fine to be scared of it.
Yeah.
But as long as you're staying within the optic of, you know, there's risk, could happen, but overall, you know, like it's fine to be wary. Basically,
I might enjoy it. I might like.
It's not. That's not pessimism. That's the thing is, right? That's not pessimism. That's just worries, right?
As long as
which
you
is
enjoy
different
it.
from just hating. That's not hating.
Yeah,
that's you know.
As long as you enjoy it, I think that's what's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, like of course
that's
everyone.
the only thing.
Like everyone in this
like
call
it's
right
a
now.
game at the end of the day, man.
Yeah,
Just
like
it's a game.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
It's a game, and everyone has like different positions like in this community. Like for instance, me, I travel mainly. That's my thing. I travel, compete in tournaments. Richie streams. He still competes, and of course SuperAkouma also travels. So it's different for everyone, and we just gotta see and wait to see what happens in season 2. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Listen, maybe I could be wrong, and it's gonna be horrible. But there's no point
Whatever
expecting that.
It will be a change.
It'll be a change.
We'll have to adapt.
You know, basically 2-pack
people
changes.
tell me, oh, if I'm pessimistic and I can be pleasantly surprised. Yeah, but why would you for like a whole year think, oh man, this is doomed. There's no way to get out of this, and then go, oh, actually, it's not that bad. When you rather think, yeah, I'm hopeful, this is gonna be great, and then go, ah, shit, it wasn't. The disappointment will last a lot less than you being hopeful for. Stay positive, people.
Yeah, we need to see what happens. Staying positive, I think, is so important. So yeah, I think that's all from this point. That was, I think this topic was really good because we also stretched it out and extended to other topics, which was something I feel like we had to talk about, especially with the recent negativity on the timeline and everywhere.
Yeah.
I think people just need to, you know, I think take it easy, like sometimes take a break as well, because everyone knows how mentally taxing this game is. Mentally, physically, like it's everything.
Yeah,
you know?
people feel guilty taking a break. It's just like, bro, do something else.
Like
live your life.
There's
man.
other ways to support the game as well, you know, watching it and, you know, like supporting your streamers and, you know, even supporting like the Tekken World Tour, buying merch and whatnot. Like it helps, you know.
Subscribing to me, like everything.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
when I stream, you know, once every 2 months, you know.
Amazing, guys. You need to tune into SuperAkouma's streams, though, man. It's just
Yes.
entertainment.
Very,
I can't wait
very
for him to fight
consistent.
Clive.
I
cannot
can't wait as
man.
well.
I'm clicking that button as soon as I see it on my phone, bro. Boom. I'm there, man.
I can't wait for my hand to be fixed, man. My hand's still fucking yellow, bro.
I can't wait to time out the first time chatters, man. I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm locked in.
Clive, I heard that Clive is the GOAT. Is that not true?
The goat, man.
Let's move on to the outro. But yeah, guys, that was all from us. I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion of hot topics with these two legends, SuperAkouma and AyoRichie. I will be leaving their socials in the description down below, so please support these guys. These guys are legends. They're doing a lot for the community. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate you joining me in this discussion. And do you guys have any words for your fans, for anybody watching this video, or even for like the Tekken community in general?
I mean, as I said it earlier, guys, stay positive. That's the most important thing. This is advice in life. Just, if you see negativity everywhere, you will see negativity everywhere. Stay positive, and more positivity will come to you.
Big up to everyone supporting, you know, all of us, you know, we're all trying to do great things within the Tekken space, you know, whatever state the game is in, it is. Stay positive, season 2 on the way, balance patches on the way, and yeah, been AyoRichie. Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you, guys. See you in the next one. Peace.
Thank you.